Okay, so you go through that whole thing, and some people say, okay, that's enough, I'm done, but you get right back into crime.
Correct.
Okay, so now it's 1992, you're 21 years old, you're on parole, and you have a friend named Monica that tells you about a new hustle.
Yes.
And what is that?
So she's just like, it's mink coats. And she was like, she had the keys, like big old thick keys with all the keys on there, like different keys because different stores have, different locks. And she like showed me the rope. She was just like, we're going to go in and so I wore a girdle, but she used to use bags, like the big JCPenney bags. And she'll walk with the bags. She like had nerve to walk with the bags, but my thing was girdle. So she taught me about, the bags bagging up, and I taught her about the girdle.
Okay, now when you have keys, when you go into high-end stores, we have furs and other like designer items, there's like a sort of like a metal rope that goes around and then with a lock at the end, right?
With that big loop, yep, and had a lock on it, exactly.
Okay, but isn't each lock unique?
No, it's the same one. It's the little small little gold key, yep. It fits all the coats that's around there, yep.
Really? I mean, why doesn't the store use something that's just unique to them?
I mean, they got like one key. I guess whatever, I'm guessing, don't quote me on it, but whatever probably the lock is, the company probably make the key for the same store. Like, one key don't work, you try another, like, okay, it's just like, probably it's a company who do specialize in the chains and the rings for the mink coats, and they probably go from different stores and all the keys fit the same.
Okay, so you guys would go after mink coats and lynx coats.
Correct.
So what's the most expensive coat you ever stole?
Lynx.
Okay, how much was that?
100.
100,000 for a coat?
Correct.
Okay, this is the early 90s.
Correct.
So it's really more like 200,000 now, $250,000?
Right, back then, yeah, that was a lot of money, yeah.
Okay, so when you stole that 100,000 lynx coat, how much did you flip it for?
So back then, really it was half, like whatever the coat is, you used to get half or whatever. But if a person's spending that type of money, you ain't gonna charge them like 50. You'll say, give me a 30 or 40 for the coat.
Okay, so you're stealing lynx coats, mink coats, other fur coats.
Black gown.
And
yeah.
Right, and within 3 months, you make $250,000.
Correct.
Okay, and you would actually steal up to 3 minks at a time?
Yes.
Okay, look, I have a mink coat. It's pretty bulky, right? And I'm 6'2". I can't imagine how I would walk out of a store with 3 of those. Like, I just can't even imagine.
Okay, let me explain it to you. So, you got on a top girdle, waist girdle, and then you have on a panty girdle. So the panty girdle is like a cup. So you have it like pulled down and it smashes. So when you ball the coat up, you stick it down, and then you ball the other one up and you stick it down. And then the one around your waist, you wrap it around your waist. It's so tight that it compresses to your body. And then you got on like a flare skirt. You can't see it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, you don't know what I mean, but you got on a long coat. So the long coat, you don't see no budgets or anything. So it just look like you just normal.
Okay. Has anyone ever like stopped you as you're walking out with a bunch of furs under your clothes?
No. Well, one time when we went to jail, we was in Dillard's, and I kind of felt like somebody was watching. Like, she was like, "Oh, you scary?" Like, peer pressure. She's like, I'm like, "No, I'm gonna take it out." She was like, "No." I'm like, "No, the man, look at, I just felt wrong." We got to go down the escalator. We coming down the escalator. Next thing I know, 2 big, husky, cornbread fed, this body slammed us at the end of the escalator. I'm like, "Wait," I said, "I told you." Oh, it was crazy. They took us to jail. I was like, oh my God. So we go back, so I'll go to jail again. So that was my second time, state prison for the mink coat.
Okay. Well, you started out using keys for the chains around the coast, but at one point you just started using wire cutters.
Wire cutters, right. So the wire cutters, it cut the chain. So the chain, Not the big hoop thing, but the chain, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we ain't need wire cutters because sometimes the key didn't go. So the wire cutters cut the thin little chain, yeah.
Okay. And by 1994, you're around 23 years old. You made over $1 million stealing furs.
Yes.
At the time, what were you buying?
Back then, just really kind of like blowing money, just going out, dinner, clothes, designer stuff, vacations, like just spending money unnecessarily. Just thinking you like rich, like you the auntie of the city of the hood, helping everybody. Just really just blowing money because I can get some more money and then the money just disappear. You be like, where did the money go? Like you can't even account for the money because you just spending, just buying unnecessary stuff. Paying people to go do this for you, paying people to go do that. Just thinking you Miss Chancellor, because that was my favorite story growing up, the Young and the Restless. So I thought I was Miss Chancellor growing up.
What do you think during this era was your stupidest purchase? What's that one thing you're like, I can't believe I spent that much on that?
A chandelier.
A chandelier. Okay, how much was that?
Yeah, $16,000.
16,000. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, those things get expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're boosting furs, and then around 1994, you meet a guy named Eddie.
Correct.
And this is a guy that knew a lot of NBA players and guys with money.
Correct.
So you started selling your furs to his contacts.
Correct.
Okay. And that's how you became the queen of furs.
Correct. Because Eddie, he raised LeBron, Eddie. And he knew everybody, like people who oil paint, like all type of people, like all over the world. So he had friends, different states. Like he knew everybody. So once I got with him, it was over with. After I got with him, all the basketball players, football players, oil paintings, sauna owners, you name it. He knew everybody. Yeah, he had a rapport with everybody.
Right, because with those connections, you started making $200,000 a month.
Correct.
And you just started spending money because by 1995, you had made like $4 million.
Correct.
Now you were spending money on yachts. You were front row, the Mike Tyson fights.
Right, correct.
Buying cars, trips, clothes. Did you get your body done around that time?
No, I never got, actually, you funny for that. The only thing I got done is my breast, and that was later on. But this is my real body. Like I was born, everybody was like, oh, you got your body done? No, I was born with these hips and I was born with this ass. This is my real ass, my real butt, and my real flat stomach. No, only thing fake is these little breasts. They 25 years old. So, yeah.
Right.
Did I get my body done?
Usually a lot of women that get this type of money at that point, they get their body done.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
But that's definitely, I've interviewed a lot of girls that have done that. Okay. So you're making money. Everything is ramped up. Now, did the NBA players ever get in trouble? Because they're buying stolen goods at that point.
No, didn't nobody never know that I sold the coats because, it was discreet. Like, didn't nobody know, like, I'm not going to tell nobody, like, these my clients. So a lot of people didn't even know how I was getting the money because, I'm not telling my business. Like, people know, like, I was a booster, but they didn't know to what level,
Well, right. And something like a fur coat, it's not like it really has a serial number and you can't really track it.
Exactly.
If you take a fur coat and sell it to someone out of state, that's gone. You'll never find that fur coat again.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So then by 1997, you're in a bar in Cleveland and you meet a guy named Kenny.
Correct.
And his thing was stealing jewelry.
Yes.
So now you get into business with Kenny and he has a sidekick named Yellow.
Correct.
Now, how does this whole process start?
So I'm in this bar called Lancers. Like, everybody, like, they sell everything in this bar. You can get coats, jewelry, anything. Like, everybody come to this bar because all the ballers and players hang out, in the bar. So I met, Kenny, he was sharp, jazzy, talking mess. He He was like, what you do? I told him what I do. He was like, you ain't getting no real money. I got to show you how to get some real money or whatever, right? He's like, yeah, I steal all type of stuff. I'm like, what you steal? He's like, diamonds. I'm like, you don't steal no diamonds. I'm like, he like, you want to go? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, show me. You got to show me. And next thing I know, I took down his number. I called him. He like, you ready? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what you suited and booted? I'm like, yeah. You looked the part, whatever. I think I had on a Scotta suit, a $3,500 Scotta suit. I never will forget. I was sharp, had my little gazelles on. I was fresh. I was fly. So we go to the store, whatever, and we in the store. And he was like, look, so our first lick was some Raymond Wells watches. And I kind of like was stunned because I could not believe how he just had the key and he just took the whole counter, like just put them in the bag. I was just like, what? He was like, when I call, that's how you know it's time to go. And, I'm talking to the lady, I got her attention, whatever, did what he told me to do. And I was like, it turned out, I'm like, oh my God, like, is that easy? I couldn't believe it. So that was our first height, was the Raymond Wells watches.
Okay, that was at Dillard's.
Exactly.
Okay, so explain to me how this works. So you, Kenny and Yellow, go into a jewelry store.
Correct.
Right? And he has a key to get into the lock, to display case, I guess?
Yes.
And once again, these keys are not unique?
I mean, he had a lot of keys. Like, he had like a whole ring of keys. So it's like different D1s, D2s, H2. But each Dillard's might have the same key. Or Dillard's in, say, Oysterman's, back in the day. Or a mom and pop store. They might have the same key. Because I guess with the jury cases, the same person make the same, the same lock. So the key will go. So when we go to the store, like, say 3 weeks or a month ahead of time, like we plan it out. So you know how they wear like the little rubber thing around with the key. So we were like, oh, can I see? Excuse me, ma'am, can I see? And then she'd pull out the watch or whatever, you look at the watch. But really, you just focusing on the number that's on the key, for when you come back, you would know you had a key. Because who's gonna sit there with a whole ring of keys trying to take each key to see what lock it belongs to, So we'll know when we come, we need one key. So you're just going to the store with just that key.
Well, I mean, we're talking about 1997 here.
Right.
They have video cameras in the store. You guys aren't coming in with masks.
No,
so,
but actually, when you look at nice in the store, they really not paying attention to you. And it's not like they do now. They not paying attention, looking in the camera, seeing. They worried about people robbing the store or running out the store. They not looking at you over here with this jewelry, with this key. They not paying, the camera's not paying attention to you. Like, back then, people really didn't go to jail for really stealing unless you running out the store and then the security had come. You know what I mean? They not really watching the cameras like they do now. Back then, it was, they were just there. I think they was dummy cameras for real.
Well, no, they're not watching the cameras, but when they go and see a bunch of watches missing, they'll go through the footage.
Right. But it never came back to us until after we caught our Fed case and we had to tell everything we did.
Right, because I guess, well, okay, I see what you're saying. So you basically have 3 random people in a store.
Sometimes 4, sometimes 5. How many
sometimes
sticks
4,
we need?
right.
Yes.
They're not from, the local city, so it's not like someone could say, oh, that's Frank or that's Bob. Like,
exactly.
You don't know who it is. They're from out of state.
Yes.
There's no like facial recognition software or anything else like that. It's
Correct.
just 3 or 4 people just stole our watches and we don't know who they are.
Exactly.
And I mean, I guess you could technically follow them through the mall and find out the license plate, but yeah, it gets.
No, they don't know that they gone. Because, once he gone, they not going looking like, okay, somebody was down there. They don't probably know until later on in the day. You know what I mean? Like, they not,
No, I got it. Okay, so after robbing that first jewelry store, for the next 3 years, you guys were just hitting store after store.
Yes. Just traveling, yes.
And you're making about $100,000 a week.
Yes.
And you would sell the items to celebrities?
Correct. Basketball players, celebrities, yep.
Okay, but it gets a little more dicey when it comes to jewelry, unlike mink coats. Like a Rolex actually has a serial number on it.
Correct.
Diamonds actually have, serial numbers and laser on them as well, technically.
Correct.
Gold, not so much. You can melt that down, but now you got people with real money buying stolen items. So they aware that they're stolen. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're buying a $50,000 Rolex for $20,000,
Right.
you know something's up.
Yes.
So were there ever any issues with that?
I mean, everybody, I don't care how much money you got. Everybody want a deal. It's just like, who don't want a deal? And then plus somebody that's trustworthy. Ain't like somebody like, oh, he buy hot stuff or he got a fence, because they called it fence back in the day. Ain't nobody gonna tell. So who gonna know that your Rolex is brand new? You know how the Rolex, it have the green when it wear, like it's real. Like, the serial like, like, ain't nobody gonna say. And plus somebody, your friend or somebody coming to you that you deal with, like it ain't no fake stuff, like, word is bond. So, it ain't gonna go nowhere. It's gonna stick, between you and that person. But after the incident that happened in Erie, PA, it left me like, I don't. It's crazy, but we got away. But I was like, I wonder, do I still want to do this? But I would still continue on with my mission after, the incident happened in Mills Creek Mall. It kind of scared me a little bit. So that was the first incident that ever happened. Everything else always got away. But that right there kind of like, oh my God.
Well, yeah. So in 1999, you're 28 years old. You and your team had stolen over $19 million in jewelry.
Correct.
Now, you had to launder that money. So you had a fake ID?
Yes.
And this was like an ID of a dead person?
Yes.
Okay. What was the name on the ID? Do you remember?
Oh, my name was, well, it was my picture, but it was like all the information of the person that passed away. Yeah. It was my alias was LaShawn Standerser. So I had a lot of stuff in the name. Yeah.
Got it. So here you are, you made millions of dollars, you're using a fake ID, and you're still rolling with this crew of jewelry store robbers.
Correct.
And you guys come up with a big heist
Right.
at the Mill Creek Mall in Pennsylvania.
Correct.
And I guess it was like 25 Rolexes?
25 Rolexes, exactly.
Okay, and Rolexes were selling for what? Between 20 and 50,000 or so?
Yeah, it was a couple of masterpieces, yeah. It was a couple of presidential, it was different ones. It was a variety of watches.
Okay, so let's just say the average.
Let's say 25. 25,000. The average, let's say the average watch, 25. I mean, selling them for 25,000.
Okay, so $25,000 times 25 watches. A little more than $500,000.
Correct.
Okay. So you guys managed to steal all 25 watches out of the store.
Right, because I remember the article said $1.1 million worth of watches. Yeah.
Okay, I guess retail-wise. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you steal over $1 million worth of watches. You guys get in the car and you drive off.
Correct.
And I guess at the McDonald's drive-thru, that's when things went bad?
Okay, so we in the store. So the store is like crystals on one side and watches on the other side, like Rolexes, diamond rings, and everything. So we got all our sticks. So Yellow come in the store, get the watches, put them in a bag. We got it's 3 salespeople. We got their attention. So once he coughed, like, we know, like, it's time to go. So he'll leave. He'll go through the exit door and mace the exit door, get in the car, and go on back home and drive back home. So I don't know what made the lady, she went down there and noticed they was gone or whatever. But me and Kenny was like acting like husband and wife. So we get in the car. So we pull in through the McDonald's drive-thru. So I don't know. I guess they probably ran out and seen me and Kenny, the car, because I had a Cadillac Eldorado back then. So I pulled in the driveway. I'm eating. So, I'm ordering my food. I'm ordering my food. So we sitting around, we eating. We just pulled over eating the food. So parked. So the police pulled up. I'm like, oh my God, is it Christmas lights? What is going on? He get out. He come. He was like, excuse me, ma'am. He was like, was you just in the mall? He was like, they said it was 25 Rolexes that was missing out the store. I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, can I search your car? I was like, no, do you have a search warrant? He was like, no. So he went to the car or whatever and got a search warrant or whatever. You know, they did something with the computer or whatever. He came back, paperwork, he searched the car or whatever. He said, well, the sales lady from the store is coming over here to identify you guys. I'm like, well, okay. So she came, she looked in the car, she began, she said, was these the ones that was in the store? And she was like, no, it was a light-skinned guy. Because yellow was, he was, high yellow. So they let us go. So that was that. And we was like, oh my God. So yellow was on his way, like in a pickup truck on his way back to Ohio. So he's like, yeah, we got him. It was 20 of them. And I'm like, 20 of them? No, it was 25 of them. He always be lying. He you know what I'm saying? Because he going to stash his little stuff. I'm like, no, he said it was 25. But see, them and the other people, they just kind of like scared of him because they need him, to go to work. I'm like, no. I'm like, check this out. Let me holler at you. I'm like, look, it was 25 of them. I'm like, you got to throw me my cut. I don't care what you do, with them, but you're not about to be playing no games with me. You know what I'm saying? The lady said it was 25. She know how many washes it was. He looking like, oh my God, she's something else. But he knew he had to throw me my cut because don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can play them and play games, but you're not about to play games with me. Like, and you need me. You know what I'm saying? So he lied about the watches or whatever. So that happened. But I don't know. They had left me one morning. And at this time, I don't know what made them think they was going to do a robbery. So they goes to Youngstown and have a hammer and do a snatch and grab. So then they get busted and they go to jail. So when they go to jail for the snatch and grab, they was facing life because of their, criminal history. So then that's what made them tell about all the stuff they did. So we had like 13 counts. So they told on me. But mind you, I was doing 2 years inside of Cleveland pre-release for, my ID and stuff, the forgery and stuff. So they always knew me by LaShawn, because remember I told you I had the fake name. They never knew my name was Regina Blackshear. So they kept saying LaShawn Standerson. But the feds finally knew who I was after I went to jail for the LaShawn Standerson ID. Because while they was going to court, they never knew who I was. That's why I'm like, they smart. How they didn't know that LaShawn and Regina was the same person? But until after I went to jail. So they was going to court and everything. So Yellow ended up telling all the stuff we did. So they ended up pulling the cameras. And so that's it. We ended up pleading, not for all the counts. So that's how we ended up doing the time.
Okay, well, because initially you got arrested for forgery.
Correct.
And tampering with records.
Yes.
Okay, how'd you get busted for that?
Okay, so I had the ID. And I had assurance fraud, the forgery ID. So I had the assurance fraud in the name. So I went to trial and they knew, they was like, but my lawyer was like, well, how you know she didn't change her name? And because all my stuff, I had like the Cadillac, F-150 back in the day. I had the house. I had a lot of stuff in the dead person name, LaShawn Standerson name. So I went to jail for the 2 years. So I was on a run and then they finally caught me. Then I went and did the 2 years. And when I did the 2 years, I was probably like a year into it. So the feds finally found out LaShawn and Regina was the same person. So then that's when they came and I was in, the state prison. They was like, oh, the alphabet boys want to see you. I'm like, what? They was like, yeah, they in the front. So I'm like, oh my God. So I went, had to go to the A building. I went to the front. They was talking to me. They was like, well, you got a baby, you pregnant, you having a baby in jail. I was pregnant. They was like, you got 2 years, you're gonna get out. But if you tell us, that the NBA players and stuff that, you were selling the watches to, you can go home after you do the 2-year sentence here. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. But they was trying to get me to tell, like, the people who we sold the stuff to. And I was like, nah,